Hello geometry students, this is Mr. Fugay, and in this video we are going to talk about how to measure angles using something called bearing. So bearing slash heading, that's another way of using it as well, is a way for us to express a navigational direction. Now there are two different ways that this can be accomplished, two different systems that are used. The first of which is what I will call more of a traditional, if I can spell it, it's more of a traditional bearing measurement. And the key here to remember with this is that this is when a single angle is given. And what is understood is that that measurement will start in a clockwise direction from the due north direction all the time. So this can be any number between 0 and 360. You'll start by facing north and then rotate counterclockwise however many degrees they tell you. Now the other way is a more directional bearing. And so this is done a little bit differently. And so in this situation, you're going to start by either facing north or south. And actually, before I move on, one thing that you should keep in mind here is that we should know the main values of our compass because we will be using that a lot throughout this lesson and future ones. Due north is going to be facing up. Due south is going to the going straight down. To our left is going to be the west, and to the right is going to be our east. So that's our traditional compass. So in the directional bearing, we're going to start by facing either north or south, and then use an acute angle to turn either in the west or the east direction. So specifically, if we look at this example here, it says south 52 degrees east. So the first thing of note is the south. This is going to be my starting direction. And then the second information here, 52 degrees east, means that we are going to turn 52 degrees in the east direction. And that's how we will create our angle. So we're going to look at a few examples here, and then I will give you a chance to try some of your own here in the video. So in the first two examples, it says give a diagram that represents each bearing. In examples 1 and 2, this is a traditional bearing. We only have the single 32 and the 304. So in both of these examples, we are going to start by facing due north to begin, and then we will rotate however many degrees in the clockwise direction. So in this case, it's 32 degrees. Remember that 90 would be about here, 45 would be about there. So it's going to be something a little less than 45. So when I draw this, we will only go a little bit this way. And this angle right here would be 32 degrees. Now, if we wanted to go a bearing of 304, we're still going to start by facing the north direction. Now, 304, if you remember, this will be 90, this will be 180, this will be 270. So it's going to be something a little past 270, so maybe something in this direction here. We will turn and rotate it all the way around, and that's going to be my 304 degree angle. Now, personally, the traditional bearing can sometimes be confusing, get larger numbers. You have to remember what 270, 180, kind of your crucial values as you're rotating around. I personally like this directional bearing much better. It's a lot more accurate and easier for us to see what we need to do. So north 42 degrees east. So the first thing I'm going to look at is this first turn, north. We're going to start by facing north. And then what it's going to do is tell me to go 42 degrees to my east. So 42 degrees is almost 45 degrees, so it's going to be something about that much. Rotate it in the east direction, 42 degrees, just like that. Now, I'll actually skip to 5 because this one is north 52 degrees west. So here's how this one's a little different. We're still going to start by facing due north like we did in the previous example, but now since it's telling me to go 52 to the west, so 52 and 45 is like about there, so maybe we'll go a little further than that. These are, at the end of the day, just sketches, so it's not going to be a big deal, but we know that it's going the other direction this time since we're going to our west. Now let's look at one other one here. In example 4, it says south 31 degrees east. So we'll start again, but this time facing due south. So we'll point downward there, and let me erase that, make that a little bit more accurate. So it's due south. And then we're going to go 31 degrees to our east. So east is going to be in the right direction. So we would move this way, rotate it a little bit. That would be 31 degrees, just like that. So that's it. We have directional bearing here, and then we also have our traditional bearing up above. So now it is time for you to try this yourself. So first, here are 4 examples for you to try of traditional bearing. Go ahead and pause this video and try these examples out. All right, hopefully you've had a chance to try these out, and here they are. And again, these are sketches, so you want yours to be kind of close to this. Notice in all of these situations, we're always starting by facing the due north. So there's the due north line that we're beginning with. And then we're rotating in the in the clockwise direction. So I don't have the arrows drawn here, but you can see that in all four of these examples, I'm rotating the same way, just a different amount depending on the value. Now, on the other side of the coin, let's talk about my favorite one, which is directional bearing. So go ahead and pause this video again and try this one out. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at these four now. So we have north for both these on the left-hand side. So notice that we're facing due north to initially start. In this case, we're going to the east, so that we're going to rotate it to the right. And this one we have west, so we're going to rotate it to the left. Then in the other directions here on this side, we're starting facing south this time. So notice we're pointing downward to begin. And then west, we're going to go to the left. And for east, we're going to go to the right. And as you know, it'll be somewhere between 0 and 90. So just do your best estimate to make it as accurate as you can. And that's bearing. That's what we need to know for bearing. And we will take this information now and use it in some new context in the next couple lessons. Here are some examples for you now to go ahead and try. These are 4 additional directional bearings. Feel free to try these out and check in with your teacher when you are finished. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.